Hi guys, how you guys doing today? Hope that you guys are having a very wonderful day, okay? But yeah, I just want to do this video real quick because if people would have told me half of these things before I moved to CT, I probably would have reconsidered. All right, I'm coming from New York. I'm gonna try to make this video real quick. All right, I'm coming from New York and I moved to CT. It's about to be a year since I moved here. And one of the things that's different from New York, like in New York, we always hear people say, like whenever we do training, license, everything, they always say New York is the best place to get the license because you can move around and take it anywhere. That is not true. That's a lie. That is a lie. I could tell you as a CNA, you would have to go and probably pay for it to get a transfer over to New York. I mean, to CT. If not, you would have to take the classes over if you're going to be a CNA. If you're coming from New York with a HHA certificate, you could use it, but it's like private cases. You could, like HHA, everybody know HHA work in people homes, but in New York you was able to work in facility. In CT you would not work in no facility with your HHA certificate unless you get like one of those private agency and you working through there. But you have to get your license, and it's a lot of license is gonna switch over because CT, they strict as hell. I thought New York was strict. CT is strict as hell. The next thing, all right, my daughter has gotten into a situation in school where she was getting bullied, and because she was getting bullied, she had said something that was, she was not supposed to say those things. And instead of, they recommended the bully, she ended up getting in trouble. We end up catching a charge because of that, and we going back and forth to court with all that stuff. So I tried to switch her school because I didn't want to just ignore my child, the fact that she's getting bullied, even though she said something bad and she was getting arrested and we have to go to court and all that stuff. I didn't want to ignore her feelings. So because she said that she didn't feel comfortable going back to the school and all that stuff, I was just like, I'm gonna take everything what she said into consideration, and I didn't want her to feel like no one cared, because it's an unfortunate situation whereas you're getting bullied and then you say something and then next thing you know you getting arrested instead of the person who bullying you getting arrested. But I tried to switch her school to a different school in New York. If you don't like that school, you could switch your child's school to a different school. Even if it's a zone school, you could go to the Board of Ed and tell them the situation and you could switch your child's school. Over here, it's different. It's not that easy for you to just switch school. Okay? So, because of that, we was waiting. I was talking to the board, the district, and they was like telling me like they gonna try to reach out to other school and have her go there, but it was like weeks she was just sitting in the house. And with me coming from New York, if you can't have the kids them home because you could catch a ACS case. So I didn't want to catch a ACS case, so I had to think real fast in CT, and I'm sure everywhere else you could do it, but it's more convenience in CT. In CT, you could sign your child out of public school and actually send them, have them doing homeschooling. So that's what I did with my daughter, have her doing homeschooling. Um, yeah, the school district is different in CT compared to New York. Like, you can't switch your school, and they tell you if you are going to switch your school, you have to wait a year for you to get that approval for you to switch your child's school. So the next thing, I live in, I'm not going to tell you what county, I could tell you what county I live in, but I won't tell you what actual city I'm really living in. But I'm living in Fairfield County, and in that county, one thing I didn't know, because in New York, when our rent would go up, whenever we have to sign our lease and we get a new lease and stuff like that, our rent would go up to like the most, it's like $100 It rarely go up to like $100 the most. The most it would go up to like a 40 or 30, 50 over here, honey. I see why they said CT is one of the most richest state, because in other state you will have things going up for like $5, $10, or even like the rent per se, the rent going up to like 30, 50, 100. Over here is going up to almost like 1,000. Like my rent is going up to like almost 400, and that's crazy to me. And it's not like the landlord, where your landlord would be try to be more reasonable with you and be like, all right, we're not gonna do that. It's like a money hungry state. Like it's straight about the money. Everything go up. You could go in one store, you get one thing for one price. Say you get something for like $4. By the time you go there, by the end of the night, it's a different worker working there. They raising the price up to almost $10. You getting that same thing for it, and it don't make not one damn sense. Not only that, with CT, they have no cause eviction, meaning that the landlord could just evict you for no reason. So it's way different. If a lot of people would have told me that, I would have been like, I'm not coming. But while I'm here, even though these rules is a little different to me, but ain't nobody gonna run me back to New York, because I'm. If New York would have like a bigger place, like more room, it's like we all on top of each other in New York. If they have that more space wise, I wouldn't mind going back, because I love New York. But I'm not going back to New York. It's not a place for you to raise kids. Even though I'm not gonna lie to you, a lot of people ain't gonna agree with me saying this, but honey, I felt like CT is very racist. They probably gonna be like, why you say that? Because that's what people try to say. I don't think so. Why you say? They are racist. Where I'm living at, some of the doctor won't even accept my children insurance. We have to go in more of a poor place to go to the doctor, because where I'm living is kind of a nice rich area, so they don't really accept our insurance. So we got to go somewhere else to get it. Like they way different from New York. So if you want to come to CT, you could come. Don't get me wrong, the living situation is nice. You're gonna get you a lot of space. You probably gonna get you a big place, and it may seem cheap when you first looking in. You like, oh, this seemed cheap, but just know, you stay a year or two, the rent is gonna go up on your ass, and it's not go up to no 100, honey. It's going over 100. Okay, so those are the things that you need to take into consideration. But it's more peaceful. I find it to be very peaceful. Majority of the time I stay in. I'm a homebody anyway, but it's peaceful. It's a nice place to raise kids. But the school system, let's just go over the school system real quick. If you looking to move to CT, and then you look at the school rating and you see like 5, 3, or even 4, and you wondering, oh, they can't be that bad, because we coming from New York. New York, we got the worst school over there. Let me tell you, it's a reason why them ratings is so low, and you got to pay attention to it. Because that's what I was saying. I'm like, if I could survive New York school, I could survive any other school out there. But let me tell you, it's different over here. It's a reason why them rating is 3, 4, 5. Okay, because I wouldn't say the education wise, but it's more of, it's very racist. When I talk to other parents here, they all tell me, majority of them tell me that their kids, is a lot of bullying in the CT school. And I think that's why the rating is so low, because the bully. And I noticed that a lot of parents over here, a lot of them do homeschooling, because their kids have gotten bullied, their kids have gotten jumped. They don't feel like taking their kids back to that school. Not only that, imagine my child never even have a criminal record, just for me to come here and then my child end up catching one. Some in the school system, something is definitely wrong in that school system. But thank you guys for watching. Talk to you guys soon.